Welcome to the Coaches Hub podcast, powered by Soccer Profile. There's nothing like watching your child play football. The excitement, the pride, the emotion. But on match day, the best support you can give isn't shouted instructions, it's calm encouragement and belief. In this episode, we explore how parents can be a positive presence from the sidelines, helping their children play with confidence, enjoy the game, and fall in love with football for all the right reasons.
You know, there really is something thrilling about match day. That energy, the anticipation, and just that sort of fierce, loving connection you feel watching your kid, right, step onto the pitch. It's so easy to get swept up in the emotion of it all.
And it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And that's that emotional high. That's exactly where the friction point often lies. It's that split second, when a parent means well, but their competitive instincts they override the fundamental truth. Which is that youth sports are about development. They're not about demonstration. It's learning.
Right. We know that intellectually, don't we? But what is it we actually forget in the heat of the moment?
We forget their kids. Simple that sometimes. They're still learning the game. And what they need most from us, from the sideline, isn't our tactical genius or criticism. It's calm, unconditional support. If you swap confidence for pressure, you risk really damaging their whole relationship with the sport long term.
Okay, so let's really dig into this dynamic. We've been looking at some great insights from the Coaches Hub. Specifically, there's this piece on positive parenting on match day sidelines.
Yes, it's excellent stuff.
And our mission today really is to pull out the most effective strategies from that. Like truly actionable things, not just vague advice, but knowledge you can actually use to make sure kids thrive and, keep loving the game.
Exactly. This deep dive is all about giving you that shortcut. Helping you become the sideline support they actually need, not just the support we think they need.
Right. Let's start with the physical place itself, the sideline. We think of it as just where we watch from, but the Coaches Hub material paints it as much more powerful than that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. The sideline acts like an emotional amplifier. It's quite stark in the source material. Your child hears every word. They see every little gesture, every sigh, every, frustrated reaction. Your presence, whether you realize it or not, is either a source of stability for them or it's a major distraction.
So if a parent is really reactive, shouting or getting visibly upset, what does that create for the child? Fear of failure.
Precisely that. It ramps up performance anxiety massively. Now, supportive behavior, the Coaches Hub points out, reinforces a growth mindset. It teaches kids that, mistakes happen. They're just data points, part of learning.
Okay.
But if parents are overbearing or critical, it triggers more of a fight or flight response. The kid starts focusing less on the ball or what the coach is saying and more on trying to manage your perceived disappointment from the sideline.
Wow, I like that framing. Managing the parent's disappointment versus managing the actual game. So the key insight here isn't really about the score at all.
It never really is it? Your child might not remember the exact score of some random game 10 years down the line. They won't.
Yeah.
But they will remember how you made them feel in those pressure moments, that emotional memory. That's the real measure of whether we're doing a good job as supportive parents.
Okay, that leads us right into the first big strategy then, being the emotional anchor. Game day is, like you said, a bit of a roller coaster for the player. Excitement, nerves, frustration. It's all in there. So the parent's job is to be the steady point, the calm in the storm.
Absolutely. The parent needs to regulate their own emotions first. And honestly, that's probably the hardest part because we are invested emotionally. The Coaches Hub actually gives some really specific practical cues for achieving that necessary stillness.
Okay, give us the do's and avoids for that visible calmness. Because I can imagine for parents who are naturally competitive, just, smiling when a bad call happens feels almost impossible.
It takes real self-control. So on the do list, consistency is key. You want neutral body language mostly. Smile, maybe wave occasionally, it's a simple thumbs up. But the main thing is staying relaxed, even when the game gets intense or frustrating. Show your pride consistently, win, lose, or draw. The aim isn't pretending you don't care about winning. It's showing your child your love and support aren't conditional on the result.
Right. And what about the classic things we see parents do that we absolutely need to avoid? The instant red flags.
Yeah, the Hub is very clear on this. Avoid those visible signs of stress. Pacing up and down the sideline, throwing your hands up after a mistake, shouting out in exasperation, big ones. And crucially, avoid criticizing the referee or the coach from the sidelines. That models disrespect. Plus, it adds this whole other layer of stress for your child. Now they have to process your frustration on top of playing their game.
That idea you mentioned earlier, giving them permission to just play without fear, that really resonates. If the parent looks agitated, the child's focus shifts, doesn't it? From playing their best to just trying not to mess up.
Exactly right. The source material talks about this in terms of minimizing cognitive load. When a child's brain, their working memory, is overloaded by that fear of disappointing mom or dad, they literally can't process the coach's instructions effectively or react instinctively to what's happening in the game. Your calmness actually frees up their mental space to perform.
Okay, so if the sideline demeanor is calm and stable, what's next? The way we actually communicate. It's natural to want to cheer, obviously, but the type of communication is crucial. That line between encouragement and instruction.
Yes, this is where so many well-meaning parents accidentally step over the line, from supporter to shadow coach. The advice from the Coaches Hub on this is fantastic because it really gets into the why behind it, the psychology.
Okay, let's break down that language checklist. What are some simple, effective things parents should be saying, things that reinforce value?
Focus on effort and attitude, always.
Yeah.
Never outcomes or specific tactics during the game. So say things like, great effort on that run, or I love watching you compete, or just a simple, keep going, you've got this. These kinds of statements boost what psychologists call intrinsic motivation. That's the desire to play because it's fun, it's challenging in itself, not just for some external reward or approval.
And the flip side, the instructions we really need to bite our tongues on, those instinctive shouts we hear every weekend.
Eliminate all the tactical commands. Just stop. Absolutely avoid yelling. Pass it. Shoot now. Get wider. Things like that. Look, if the coach wanted them wider, the coach would tell them. When you shout instructions, you risk overriding the actual game plan. You confuse the player. And worse, you put them in this position of having split command. Who do they listen to? You or the coach?
But what if I genuinely see a clear pass they missed? Shouldn't I point that out? Maybe later.
The Hub advice is generally no, not in the heat of the moment, and maybe later only if they bring it up first, wanting feedback. When you shout tactics, you're basically sending a message, I don't trust your judgment, or you're not seeing what I'm seeing. That feeling of being constantly micromanaged, it's just a killer for confidence and enjoyment. The best approach, cheer for the whole team, not just your kid. Keep the language positive and simple, and leave the technical coaching to the coach. That's their job.
Okay, that makes sense. Moving beyond just the words we use, let's talk about our focus. Whether the child scores a hat trick or misses an open goal, you're saying the parent's focus needs to stay consistent on effort, attitude, improvement.
Yes, this is absolutely fundamental for building resilience. Not just in sport, but in life. If you only ever focus on the outcome, the goals, the wins, the trophies, you inadvertently teach your child that success equals your approval, your love even. And that creates a really fragile sense of self-worth. Their value feels tied directly to how well they perform.
So how do we actively shift that focus to effort? What specific things should we praise?
Praise the process, the things they can control. Highlight their hustle, their determination, how they tracked back to defend even when they looked exhausted. And crucially, praise how they reacted after making a mistake. Did they bounce back quickly? Did they keep their head up? That shows mental toughness. It shows they have a strong internal locus of control, the belief that they can influence things through their own effort, not just luck or talent.
And the result of focusing on effort like that, it creates a stronger, more robust athlete mentally.
Exactly. The research backs this up. Children consistently praised for effort are shown to be more resilient, more confident, and significantly more willing to take calculated risks, which is vital in sports. They see challenges as opportunities to get better, not as threats to their ego. Success gets redefined. It becomes about growth, improvement, not just the number on the scoreboard.
That flows perfectly into the next critical moment the Coaches Hub highlights, the post-match period, specifically mastering the car ride home.
The car ride home, yes. A notorious minefield, emotionally speaking. The temptation for the parent, especially if the game didn't go well, is to jump straight into analysis mode, dissecting every play, every mistake. But the resource strongly advises against dissection. It pushes for decompression. Kids are usually wiped out after a game, emotionally and physically. They often just need space to shift gears.
So if a parent is itching to give feedback, maybe point out one or two things. What's the golden rule for timing?
Wait. Just wait. The Hub suggests waiting at least, say, 30 minutes after the game. Ideally, wait until the next day if it's something significant. Immediate analysis, especially negative, can feel like you're just extending the pressure cooker of the game. Your role in the car flips completely. You go from being that sideline anchor to being their comfort zone. Let the child lead any conversation about the game.
Okay, so what are some good ways to keep that post-match chat light and positive, setting the right tone?
Keep it simple. Open-ended questions about their experience, not their performance level.
Yeah.
Honestly, the most powerful question is often just, did you have fun today?
Yeah.
You can follow up with things like, what was your favorite part of the game? Or maybe just offer simple, unconditional validation. I really loved watching you play out there today.
It's interesting how all those examples focus on their internal feeling, their enjoyment, not the external result or skill executed.
Exactly. It's the huge difference between asking, why did you min that shot? Which sounds critical, and maybe, what were you thinking about when you took that shot? Which is just curious, if they even want to talk about it. Remind yourself. Not every single game needs a detailed post-mortem analysis. Sometimes, honestly, they just want a snack and a quiet, peaceful ride home.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Our final strategy feels like it underpins everything else in youth sports. Respect and role modeling. Football, like most sports, teaches huge life skills. Teamwork, discipline, sportsmanship, and kids learn the cues for these directly from the adults, right? Especially their parents.
Absolutely. Parental behavior basically sets the cultural temperature for the whole match environment. The Coaches Hub highlights 3 specific areas where parents must lead by example.
Okay, what are those 3 areas that demand the most careful modeling from parents?
Okay, first, respect for the officials, the referees. You have to model unwavering respect even if you strongly disagree with a call. Even if the call is objectively terrible. If a parent is screaming at the ref, the child learns, okay, it's acceptable to disrespect authority when things don't go my way. That's a terrible lesson.
Makes sense. What's the second area?
Support the coach. Even if internally you're questioning tactics or substitutions, publicly you must support the coach's decisions. Questioning the coach out loud, especially in front of your child, completely undermines their authority. It encourages your child to second-guess the coach and the team structure too. Creates division.
And the third area relates to the other team.
Yes, sportsmanship towards the opposition. Always applaud good play from both teams. Show your child that it's a competition between 2 groups of kids working hard, not some kind of personal battle or feud. And the specific things to avoid here are crucial. Never, ever make negative comments about the skills, effort, or appearance of other players. Not on your team, not on the opposition. That kind of negativity just poisons the atmosphere and completely overshadows the positive character lessons the sport is supposed to be teaching.
You know, listening to all this, it really brings us full circle, doesn't it? If we pull together all these 5 strategies from the Coaches Hub insights, the core role of the parent seems incredibly clear. Be the source of their unconditional support, not the source of pressure, anxiety, or extra coaching.
That's it. They need our patience, our belief, our presence. It's about focusing on the joy of it all. The movement, the teamwork, the competition itself, not just the final score.
So the message is, cheer loud, but keep it positive. Be present, but don't add pressure.
Exactly. And maybe here's the final thought for you to take away from this deep dive, drawing right from the heart of these resources. The belief you show in them, that unwavering feeling you give them, that you're proud of their effort, win or lose. That is the single greatest gift you can give as a sports parent. Long after the scores are forgotten, the trophies gather dust, your child will remember. They'll remember looking over the sidelines and knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, you were there. You believed in me. You let me fall in love with the game. That feeling, that's what keeps them playing. That's everything.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Coaches Hub podcast, powered by Soccer Profile. Your child doesn't need a coach in the stands, they need a parent who believes in them. Your calm, positive support helps them build confidence, resilience, and a lifelong love for the game. For more insights and resources to help players grow on and off the pitch, visit www.soccer-profile.com. Thanks for listening. And remember, your belief is their greatest motivation.